The comeback was on. Down 6 runs in the All-Star Game, the American League had clawed its way back from the dead to tie it in the ninth. All the momentum was in their dugout. The game was headed somewhere it had never gone before, a sudden death home run derby. The stage was set. But what if the National League's victory wasn't a miracle? Thoughtful. What if the AL's historic collapse at the very end came down to a single hidden mistake that everyone missed? A mistake buried deep in the box score until now. Number 1. The blowout that wasn't. Annoyed honestly, the 2025 Midsummer Classic at Truist Park started like an absolute dud. It felt less like a game and more like a coronation for the National League. In the very first inning, Ketel Marte shot a double down the line, cashing in 2 runs before the AL even knew what hit them. For the next 5 innings, the NL's pitchers were just untouchable, completely shutting down a scary AL lineup and making it look easy. Then, in the bottom of the 6th, the wheels didn't just come off for the AL, the whole car fell apart. Mets slugger Pete Alonso hit a monster 3-run homer that blew the roof off the place. A few batters later, Corbin Carroll from the D-backs hit a solo shot of his own. Just like that, 6-0. Game over, right? The announcers were already talking MVPs, and you could feel fans in the stands checking their phones. A classic blowout, or so we thought. Number 2, the unthinkable comeback surprise, but then something shifted. In the top of the 7th, with the game all but lost, the American League finally woke up. The spark came from Oakland's Brent Rooker, who crushed a 3-run homer that didn't just slice the lead in half, it sent a jolt of electricity through the AL dugout. Excited suddenly, a total snoozer had a pulse. By the end of the 7th, the NL's comfy lead was down to 6-4, and you could feel the tension ratchet up. The NL hung on through the 8th, but the 9th inning was just pure, wonderful chaos. Facing the Padres closer, the AL put together a string of clutch hits. It ended with back-to-back doubles from Byron Buxton and Bobby Witt Jr. that made it a 1-run game. Then, with 2 outs, Stephen Kwan hit a little chopper, busted it down the line, and beat the throw for an infield single. The tying run scored. The AL dugout went insane. They'd done the impossible, erasing a 6-run deficit to tie the game 6-6, the biggest comeback to tie or take the lead in the history of the All-Star Game. Number 3, the swing-off. For the first time in history, the All-Star Game was going to be decided by a swing-off. The rule, which had been on the books since 2022, was finally being put to the test. Here's how it works. Each manager picks 3 players, and each of them gets 3 swings. Most total homers wins. If it's tied after that, they go to head-to-head rounds until there's a winner. The NL was up first. Their hopes rested on Philadelphia's Kyle Schwarber, and Schwarber did what Schwarber does. Swing 1, gone. Swing 2, gone. Swing 3, gone. A perfect 3 for 3, putting the NL on the board with 3 massive home runs. For his heroics, he was named MVP, even though he didn't get a single hit in the actual game. The AL fought back hard. Brent Rooker, the guy who started the comeback, launched 2 more deep shots. Randy Arozarena added another one, bringing the AL's total to 3. It all came down to their number 4, the one mistake. And this is the moment where the game was lost for the American League. Their final participant was Tampa Bay's Jonathan Aranda. Now look, Aranda is a good ball player, no question. But in a pure, raw power competition with the game on the line, was he really the guy you wanted up there from a roster of the league's best sluggers? AL manager Aaron Boone later said his hands were tied. He had to pre-select hitters he knew would still be loose and warm late in the game, a logistical problem that turned out to be the AL's doom. The gamble completely backfired. Aranda stepped into the box needing 1 homer to tie it, 2 to win it. His first swing was a miss. His second was just agonizing. A deep fly ball that smacked off the top of the wall in right field, inches away from glory. His third and final swing was another fly ball, but it died in the outfield. Jonathan Aranda went 0 for 3, and the National League stormed the field. The fatal mistake wasn't Aranda failing at the plate. It was the strategic decision to put him in that spot to begin with. The NL had the perfect guy for the moment in Kyle Schwarber, a pure home run specialist. The AL, trapped by their own planning, did not. The 2025 All-Star Game is one for the history books, famous for its wild comeback and dramatic ending. But for the American League, it'll always be a painful lesson. They showed they had the heart of a champion, but in the final, critical moment, one single strategic choice cost them everything. It just goes to show you that even at the highest level, a game can be won or lost before the final swing is ever taken. If you love digging into the stories behind the scores, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown.